the most powerful motivational speeches that I have ever heard came from people who told me I couldn't do something. You know why? Because when they told me I couldn't do it, I was bound and determined to show them.
Hello guys, this is the tutorial for the backwards hang 5. Backwards hang 5 was one of the first tricksy tricks I learned. It takes quite a while to learn, and there are numerous ways of getting into it and out of it. In the course of it I'll show you a couple, both pretty easy. So the first way would be to go from the pegs, and this is basically, it's just like doing a foot jam whip, except you don't whip the frame. If that really helps, just squeeze the brake and leap straight to the position. Super simple. The other way, this is for those of you who don't have brakes, step to the tyre, so a couple of super easy ways to get in. So to get out of this trick there are a lot of different ways, but I'll show you a couple. Just doing it to a fakie is probably the easiest way. Okay, very simple way out of this trick. Do the hang 5. Then squeeze the front brake, feet go the pedals, and then pivot out. Simple here to learn the actual trick, so here it is. So learning it with the front brake helps. One, it makes it safer. If you're going backwards, you pull the front brake, the back wheel comes down, so you don't have to worry about going over the bars, which is one of the things that sketches people out with hang 5. Now, another cool thing, if you've got the front brake, is you don't need to get into the trick at all. You can step straight into it, which allows you to practice it. Now, before you learn the rolling version, you can learn the squeaker, which is basically the same position. But what you'll do is you scuff the tyre, pull on the brake, scuff the tyre, pull on the brake, but obviously in this position. Now, since I learned to roll them, I can't actually do that anymore, but that's what I did first to basically get an idea of it. Starting the trick, stepping into it, push up, foot on the peg. Now, as you step up and put your weight over the front of the bike and bring your left foot or right foot, depending on what side you're doing, onto the tyre, push the bars down, which will bring the seat up, which if you do it right, will give you the right position for the trick. Now, in terms of balancing it, it's one of those ones where it looks like your leg does all the balancing. And it does do a lion's share, but it doesn't do all of it. There are lots of subtle nuances to it, which you won't necessarily notice when you watch somebody doing the trick, but will learn as you learn it. Now, one of them is the fact that, like with a 2-foot rolling trick, your leg is bent, so you have some balancing there. You can lower your centre of gravity, you can raise it depending on what you need. So, you know, definitely worth remembering that your legs can have an effect. The other thing, and I kind of really picked this up off my mate Tom when I was watching him doing like forwards hang 5s. One of the things I never did to begin with for a long while was actually bend my arms. I'd keep very, very locked out. And my mistake, because those slight adjustments like this can have a massive effect on the overall trick. So next time you watch somebody doing a hang 5, pay real close attention, not just to what their leg's doing, that will be important, but also what their other leg is doing in terms of adjusting the centre of gravity, and also what the top half of their body is doing. It will be very subtle. Sometimes the difference between this and this is keeping the trick going. So that's basically what we're looking at. Once you've got into it, practice it really, really slowly. The more more slowly you can do a trick, the easier it makes it to do the trick faster, basically. This was something I learned when I was doing Tai Chi, and it applies perfectly to this as well. If you can do a trick really slowly, when you come to roll it faster, it's going to be much, much more fun. But I look at a decent length hang 5. So, whether it was noticeable or not, all the way through there, balancing here, also balancing here. Get these 3 bits right, the trick will work. But it will take some time, probably quite a lot. So at this point it just comes down to practice, practice, practice. Anyway, hope that you enjoyed that and you get something useful from it. Any questions? Pop me a message. Have a great day.
We don't beat the Reaper by living longer. We beat the Reaper by living well and living fully. For the Reaper will come for all of us. The question is, what do we do between the time we're born and the time he shows up? Because when he shows up, it's too late to do all the things that you're always going to kind of get around to. It is not the things we